The Tao of Self-Confidence, Episode 259. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits. Well, hello friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today I have an amazing woman on the show today. She is a sustainable fashion blogger through Sustainable Siren, and I'm just really excited to have her on and share her story and tips with us on self-confidence. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Jennifer Wang. Jennifer, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to our listeners.
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking me to be part of your podcast. So I'm 20 years old and I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area in California. I'm really committed to sustainability and environmental activism. What I do is I'm a style blogger, and so I focus on sustainable fashion and trying to inspire other people, especially other young adults, to try to approach their lives with a more environmentally and ethically conscious mindset. Outside of doing my blog stuff, I'm also currently studying fashion design.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And I think it's amazing what you're doing, especially through fashion, being aware of the environment and whatnot. So, and especially at such a young age too. So congrats to that.
Thank you.
No problem. And Jennifer, what's your cultural background?
I'm Chinese. My dad is from Hong Kong and my mom's from Taiwan, but I was born and raised in California.
Cool. Thanks for sharing that. And what would be your favorite self-confidence quote?
My favorite quote is by Margaret Mead, and it's "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." And I really like this quote because I think about it when I get a little bit discouraged when I'm doing my work and feeling like, oh, am I really making an impact? But this quote just reminds me that everything starts small and it goes bigger. So that's kind of what just keeps me motivated and inspired.
I think that's a great quote. And especially, a lot of us think that just because we're one person, we don't think we can change the world. When really, all it takes is one person. I mean, all these big companies in the world like Apple and Microsoft, they all started from one person. So imagine how much impact they've made with an idea that they had a vision and they just made it happen. So, like what you mentioned in the quote, just because there's a small group doesn't mean we can't make things happen. So I really love that, and thanks for sharing that. And in your own words, how would you define self-confidence?
For me, self-confidence is not caring what other people think of you and learning to define your self-worth based on your self-love and that only.
I like that. I mean, especially, I'm sure growing up Asian, being an Asian woman, it's like we've been taught to always just think of what other people, do things for them and make sure that, everyone's taken care of except for us. And we forget to take care of ourselves. We forget to love ourselves. We forget that, we have feelings too and we have to tend to them. And if anything, we should be at number one on top of everyone else. And yeah, that may sound a little selfish, but sometimes we have to be a little bit selfish so we can become better. So I like that definition that you mentioned. And Jennifer, what was your life like before your discovery of self-confidence?
I used to be really self-conscious in middle school and the beginning of high school. I worried a lot, like other people my age, what my peers thought of me. And I guess tying this back to fashion, that self-consciousness did reflect in my fashion choices. This was before I kind of developed my own personal style. So the majority of what I wore was basically based on what was the next trending item. So stuff like juicy jackets or True Religion jeans or Uggs.
Awesome. And I think, that we're all guilty of that, right? Especially when the media kind of promotes the next big thing in fashion or in, whatever it may be. We just want to get what everyone else is wearing or what everyone else has. And it's we're not cool if we don't get that one item, right?
Yeah, there was definitely, it was a lot of pressure to have the whatever item it was at the time.
Yeah, totally. And it doesn't help. Well, I don't know. For me, it's it doesn't help when your parents are cheap. But it was all good. I love my parents. They taught me a lot of great stuff. But what was that one point in your life when you realized you didn't have to follow the trend, that you can be the trendsetter, you can be the one creating, a movement? What was that aha moment?
It kind of happened like over a process, and then I had like this big realization. But I would say during my sophomore year was when I started experimenting with my personal style and wearing things that I thought were unique and eye-catching. I'd always loved fashion, but before I tended to be focused more on specific brands or designers and letting that dictate what I wore. But since sophomore year, I started trying out outfits that kind of appealed to just me more and not about the brand. That kind of segued into my junior year when I ended up starting my personal style blog. It started as Art in Our Blood, but I rebranded to have a sustainability focus a few months ago. But that was kind of my project where I would just document my outfits after I came home from school, and it was really fun to get to share that online with other people who also were really into fashion. And so it was definitely a lot of fun. And previously, I worried a lot about fitting in, as I mentioned, but experimenting with my style and being recognized amongst my peers for it, that was what made me realize that I was so much happier standing out from the crowd as an individual rather than constantly worrying about fitting in. But even then, I discovered that, just there's this amazingly transformative power of when you put on a good outfit and it just makes you feel so confident and powerful. I didn't need validation from others anymore because I just felt that I looked good and that was what made me feel good. And the only thing that mattered was my own opinion of myself.
I love it. And, sometimes, wearing a nice dress or, a nice suit can really bring up your confidence, right? Especially when you look in the mirror and you're just like, wow, I look amazing today. And
definitely,
and who cares what other people think, right? Because in reality, you can't please everybody. But if you're happy with who you are, the things that you do and the clothes that you wear, then that's all that matters, right? And then the right things attract to you. And, because of that huge realization, what's your life been like now?
My happiness became a lot more untouchable. And by that, I mean not able to be influenced by others. I started to get really excited to go to school each day because I wanted to show off my outfits. And that self-confidence that I got from my outfits in turn ended up, continuing to fuel the passion behind my style blog. And that, to say the least, my blog definitely changed my life in that it opened so many doors for me with my fashion pursuits in general, and it also led to me making a lot of my most treasured friendships with fellow fashion bloggers that I've met along the way.
That's awesome. It's amazing what you can do when you take action on your passion and the amount of doors that opens for you, right? It kind of it just naturally comes out because you're so passionate about what you do. You're so happy about what you do that everything else falls into place. And
definitely, yeah,
and it's just the greatest feeling in the world. And to the woman who's listening to your episode, she may be in her own journey of self-confidence. What would be that one tip you would give to her?
I would say that you should find what makes you happy and run with it. Find something that honestly just makes you feel so fulfilled and driven that you don't need the validation of others to feel good. Strive for happiness that's untouchable by others, and I think then your self-confidence will just naturally follow.
That is great advice. I really love it. And, it's true. We're so, people are so focused on doing what others want them to do that they forget to do what they want to do, what makes them truly happy. And, happiness is within you, right? You can't find it, in someone else. Once you can find that within yourself, like you said, everything else will follow naturally. And Jennifer, if our listeners wanted to get to know a little bit more about you and your blog and your movement, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
You can check out my main blog at sustainablesiren.com. And then if you're interested in following me on Instagram, it's just at sustainablesiren. And then I also do have a Facebook, Twitter, and Lookbook and Chictopia accounts, which I will provide the links and stuff since they all have kind of long URLs, but my main updates go on my blog and Instagram for the most frequent ones.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing all that info. And to our listeners, if you want to connect with Jennifer, you can also head on over to thetaoselfconfidence.com and search for Jennifer's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else we talked about. And I just want to thank Jennifer for taking the time to share her story and tips with us on self-confidence. So thank you so much, Jennifer.
Thank you. I really appreciate getting to share a little bit about my journey here, and I hope that my words are able to also help others find their self-confidence as well.
Jennifer, it was an awesome to have you on, and I'm sure our listeners loved the episode. And listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence, and we will talk to you soon. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of the Tao of Self-Confidence. Sign up for our free membership site to get more amazing resources for self-confidence by visiting our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits.